What's up, people? We are back. A2TP podcast, episode 90. How you say that in Spanish?
90.
90. I need you to speak up a little bit too, all right? Because you got your mask on.
90!
But we are back, episode 90. We are back in the building. Your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl Tosh, the co-hostess with the Mostest.
And she is back.
Yes.
She is back. We're not going to state the obvious. We're not going to get into that a little bit later. But you guys out there, episode 90, we're back. We're only 10 episodes from 100. So we're hitting milestones here. But if you want to catch all 90 episodes, you can catch them on A2TPodcast.com, Spotify, Facebook, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. We're on all those platforms. So you can go to any one of them platforms, apps, sites, whatever, and see our faces there. Your boy, International Walk, doing his thing. Co-Hostess with the Mostest doing her thing. So it should be no excuse. How are you?
Woo! That's a loaded question.
It is.
Boom!
Boom!
Can we add sound effects? Like a pooh.
No, I don't know about that.
No sound effects? Okay. I'm good. You know, I have been better, but I've been worse. So mentally, I'm gonna say I'm an 8. You know, I'm not. No, actually, I'm gonna say I'm a 9. I'm a 9. You know, that's where I am mentally. I'm feeling better than I have been. Gratitude. I'm overflowing with gratitude. I know that I'm blessed. And yeah, that's where I am mentally, a 9. Physically, no, what's next?
Work.
Work is a pain in the ass, but I'm gonna say work is a 7. It's a lot going on, and sometimes it's so funny when people look at companies, and I'm sure this might be a thing at most major companies, but I mean, you hear about places like Google and stuff like that. It looked like the video sideways, but you look at places like Google and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, it's such a awesome company, and I'm sure it probably is, but I'm sure they have some stuff with them too. And it's like that with a lot of corporate America, I'm sure. It's one of these things that, and I feel like, and this is probably different for you because your job is your job. But it's like when you're in corporate America, like they hire you to do one job, but it kind of spills over and you kind of end up doing like 2.5 jobs. Mm-hmm. And I know because of the need to save money, cut down, you know, cost and things like that, you figure a team of, let's just say 5 people could probably be a team of 9 people to get the jobs done without anybody feeling overwhelmed and stuff like that. But it's like, hey, if we can just overwhelm people a little bit, then we can save money and not hire 4 more people.
Right.
So yeah, work is a 7.
Mentally.
I already said.
Oh yeah, you said mentally.
Yeah.
You said work.
Financially a 10. I'm all, you know, God has blessed us, continues to bless us, and yeah, we good there. I don't have no complaints. Physically, I'm like I'm like a 7. You know, I'm like a 7, which in comparison to, you know, 6 days ago, I was like a 1. So I'm grateful for it being a 7, and yeah, that's that. I'm on the mend, and and that's that.
It's probably gonna be as much talking as you've done in the last couple of days, so it's gonna fuck with your throat. Probably should have got you a water.
That's alright.
You'll be alright.
And it makes me feel like well, I mean, I talked to you a lot the last couple of days on FaceTime and stuff, but I have to pace myself. Mm-hmm. You know, doing the show, I get all excited, and it's like, woohoo! And it's
that's
like,
right.
okay,
I'll pick up for you.
Calm down here. How are you?
I'm good.
No. How are you?
Mentally, I would say I am a 7. Because, you know, stating the obvious, my baby got COVID, and she was sick, and, you know, I was bummed about that, but you know, you gotta nurse her back to health and take care of her and look out for her. It was the first time we experienced something like that. So yeah, I'm like a 7 right now, just to see you on the mend and back up.
You tired too.
Yeah, I was ready saying I'm exhausted because
my baby been holding it down.
We believe in gender roles in this house, and the roles had switched, and I got a different appreciation for the other side gender role. Like I understand, I get the trash, I get the snow, I get all the gotta fix it stuff and all that kind of shit, but taking care of a house is pressure, especially when you got somebody like you taking care of, or somebody like me who waiting to eat. Like it can be pressure. So I get it. It's different. And just like yesterday, I didn't even leave the house except for 15 minutes, but I was exhausted. Like I went to work and did a job. Like I was exhausted.
Ladies, you hear that? And men, if you haven't had to hold the household down, try it. Try it for a weekend. Yeah. And we don't have no kids here. It's just us.
I couldn't imagine having kids and them like having to tell them mommy's out of commission for a couple days. Like I could see us fucking around like a lot, like eating bad food, like not washing. Like I could see us like
kids dirty.
I could see us fucking around a lot. Like
what if it was like a baby?
No, a baby you gotta change the
No,
pampers.
but I mean you would have been like in the corner. You would have been in the crib with the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful, not that, that just for this experience and you being able to, have a little insight into, life. I couldn't imagine having to do your job either, having to, or, our trash day, making sure we up, taking the trash out. If you forget, you got to hurry up, or you got to take it out 4 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't imagine having to shovel snow, clean off the cars, anything that, like, so I respect your role too, and I'm happy that you see it ain't all sunshine and flowers. It's a better way to do things and make it easier for yourself, but it still works.
Yeah, and I didn't have like a perspective of she like lounging at home. Like I knew that it was work, but I didn't know it was like that much work.
And I got a job. I'm not a housewife. So I got a job.
It's just the pressure of, and again I don't know how to use my stove that good. Like I can cook, but it's a different kind of stove, so I don't really know how to use it that good. And if I'm not careful, I'll burn some shit. And the dishwasher, it's like you gotta be an expert, like have 5 years experience with dishwashers, knowing how to load them and shit like that and all that crap. I'd just rather wash the dishes. It's so much faster, and for me, it's like instant gratification because I see they clean. So it's that I'd rather do that. Work's an 8. Work is okay. Work is good. What's next?
No, wait. So how was it for you though? Because you were going to work and then having to come home and do stuff. Like you was to go to work and having to come home and cook dinner. That ain't never been your life.
Nah, it's never been. And it's just a different experience. Like again, I appreciate what you do and cooking. I mean, again, I didn't think that you didn't do shit, but at the same time, I just didn't think it was. And again, for you, maybe because you've honed in skills, you know how to make that transition easier and your day easier. For me, I was just thrown into the fire. So it's like I'm in there with my hair on fire and I'm trying to put it out and ain't no water. So it's crazy in the kitchen. Not my area of expertise. I can cook. I ain't gonna starve. She ate, but
and it was good.
Yeah, I'm not the Thanksgiving cooker. Not me.
And my baby didn't want to buy. We bought food twice over the last 7 days, 6-7 days. Mm-hmm. My baby like good food because he used to be cooking him good food, so he don't want to just buy food. So he had to, take the second best. He couldn't eat my good food, so he had to make us food, and I appreciate it. Financially,
I'm a 10. I'm good. Oh. God's blessed me. I'm things are progressive, so I'm a 10 in that way. Wows and woes. Physically, I thought I said that.
No.
Physically, I feel right now like an 8.
That's good.
Yeah, I just got out the shower. I feel good. I feel great. Yeah, I'm an 8. I feel great. I'm an 8.
You got bars.
Wows and woes.
So I'll start with my woe. It's kind of a double whammy. Of course, being sick, don't want to be sick, and y'all do what y'all want in life. If y'all know us, really know us, y'all know we are still mask wearers. And y'all probably think like I'm being extra sitting here wearing this mask, but he is still very afraid. I'm past my quarantine period. My baby did not get sick, thank God, which is so weird because we were in the same place, same time, like, but whatever, I'm happy he didn't get sick. But he's just still very, leery, doesn't want to get sick, and I don't want him to get sick. So this is the closest we have been in contact, and I'm so excited right now to be able to just like rub elbows with him. But my woe was, of course, being sick. It tied into this weather change. Mm-hmm. I'm born in the winter. I always say my body was born in the winter, but my soul was born in the summer. I love the heat.
This is like a big thing for you. Like, it's fall. Don't you like fall?
I love the heat. I like fall clothes. I like to get dressed, in the fall. But I'm not like this gloomy weather girl. And I'm just preparing myself mentally to know that it's just a season. Don't let it get you down. My baby did an episode before about SAD, seasonal affective disorder, because it is a real thing. And this is just the beginning. And I'm not feeling like that. But I don't want to fall into that gloominess. Like, I want to just enjoy it for what it is because I can't change it. But blah.
And that happens when it's like 10, 12 days of no sun. Then it's like, I understand like that down because the sun makes you feel vibrant.
Our souls need vitamin D.
So... I understand that part of it, but it's been 2 days, and it's because of a hurricane.
Yeah.
So that's why it's been great. That's why it's been raining. But it's fall. We're about to see yellow leaves, red leaves, shit change over. It's about to be some cool, brisk nights.
Yeah.
And, that's what it's about to be.
My wow is just having an amazing husband.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah, that really is just, I'm just blessed. I hope that everyone who, whether it's a husband, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a family member, has somebody to care for them when they need it. I'm happy that the person that I chose, like, we wasn't born as family, but we chose each other, and I'm happy that he checks those boxes and always takes care of me. I feel like in some ways, don't get me wrong, I'm not like no sickly person, but I've encountered a few things over our life together, surgeries and so forth. And, you've always stepped up to the plate. I think this time was a little different because you ain't want me to touch it. Like, I had to stay quarantined. So that made things very different. And you just stepped up to the plate, and I appreciate you. You're my dog.
I appreciate you too, and I always fucking do right by you. I always stand by you.
You didn't finish it.
That's a goal of mine, is to, I don't want to be a shitty husband. I want to be the best husband. I want my wife to say, I'm the best husband. So, and although there's a lot of great husbands out there, I want my wife to say I'm the best husband. Mm-hmm. And she is my legacy. And when I'm not here no more, if she says he was great and I can't say a bad word about him, he always did right by me, that's enough for me. So that's how I feel about that.
What's your wows and woes for the week?
My wow is just that, we pushed through what we went through. Like another experience, like you said, over the years, surgeries and scares, and one time you almost died. Like, let's be real. Like, the scare is and the surgeries and all the hospital action has been like tolling over the years. We've discussed this before, but it's us, and it's always gonna be us. And anytime you down, I'm down. Anytime you up, I'm up. So we're gonna do what we gotta do to push through, and we a team. We always gonna be that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, your woe?
My woe is just the fact that you got COVID.
Yeah.
Like, you got COVID. Like,
I stayed clean for 2.5 years.
Yeah, I haven't been sick for 3 years. She hasn't been sick for 2.5 years. And I mean that we went to a wedding, and a few people got sick, not just her, but I remember like her just going downhill really fast. Like, she was saying my throat a little itchy. Like, we went on to a wedding on Saturday. Sunday was fine. Monday was fine. Tuesday, no good. And then Tuesday afternoon, like almost at the bottom of the hill. Tuesday night, like almost wiped out. Like it hit her hard. Like, so, and I'm sure she'll elaborate on that. But that's just my woe. The fact that, we slipped up and it got us. And I'm glad it didn't get us both. I'm glad it didn't get me, because getting her, half the house is shut down. You know, I still can function. If I get it, the whole crib is shut down, because I'm such a pussy when I'm sick. Like, I need her, and like the whole thing is shut down. There's nothing operating like it's supposed to.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, if y'all know us, y'all know we wear our mask all the time. All the time. We've been to basketball games, we've been to concerts, comedy shows. Anytime there's boxing events, anytime there's a crowd. And I like to look cute. I like to take pictures. I hate wearing the mask. But it's always been that fear of like, ugh, I don't want to be sick. Ugh.
And at that point, people that haven't had COVID don't know what it's like. So it's like, oh, I just had a regular cold before. So that's your benchmark. That's your comparison. But now that you've had COVID, it's like the mask or that feeling. The feeling of the annoyingness of the mask, or the feeling of the annoyingness of I'm sick right now.
And everybody's symptoms is different. Like, you know, I've seen people who have had COVID and they I'm not going to even say they downplay it, because their experiences may not have been as harsh as others. We know there have been people that have died, but we know there have been far more people that have survived. But even like the in between, it's like, okay, for some people it may just be a cold. For some people it can be a little more than that. For some people it can be very much more than that. I'm grateful that, you know, I didn't have to be hospitalized or anything like that. But yeah, that feeling, it hurt. It hurt. And I just, that body sick feeling, everything hurt, and feeling like somebody beat you down and you know ain't nobody, like you feel like you got hit by a car. Like, you hurt. My fingers was hurting. Why do I have a viral infection and my fingers hurt? Like, all of my joints on my body was hurting. Like, that's just crazy. So
yeah, it is. And as a husband sitting back watching that, it's like you helpless, and you like, damn. And the only thing I could think about was, and people could feel how they want to feel out there about whatever, but the only thing that I had some solace in is like, damn, she vaccinated. Like, damn, she vaccinated. Like, I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't know how she gonna feel tomorrow. Today she a 2. Hopefully she a 3 or 4 tomorrow. But if she say she a 1 tomorrow, like, what the hell am I gonna do? Yeah. So the only thing I had solace in was, damn, she vaccinated. So hopefully she don't need to be hospitalized.
And somebody did tell me that they had it twice. One before they got vaccinated and then one after. And they said the time before was hell. Like, so much different than, you know, after they were vaccinated. So either way, I mean, y'all do what y'all want. Y'all take y'all chances if y'all want. You don't know how your immune system is going to react to it. For some people, it may just be a cold. Some people may be a sniffle. Some people, you may be asymptomatic and have it. And then some people, it might wipe your ass all out of here. Mm-hmm. I don't want to take the chance. I've never been the type to, you know, want the rhinestone and cutesy mask and all that. I just don't feel that it's necessary for me. But I will have a mask on.
No, what's necessary is a KN95 or N95. That's what's necessary. Fuck a rhinestone cutesy dootsy where shit get in the sides.
But guess what? If you don't have the N95, having just a mask period, I think has helped us to this point. Yeah. And some people like, I don't like those. I don't like it either. And some people may think it doesn't make a difference. To each his own. I feel like for us, it has made a difference. In Saturday, clearly not having one with over 100 people, here's the result. So you can't tell me it ain't make a difference for us.
So yeah, just talk about the experience, because that's the first thing we're talking about. You're the COVID baby. What was your experience that it touched you for the first time after hearing? You know, you may know a person that had got it and it's real bad. You may know a person who knows a person that died. I don't think you know anybody directly that died, because I can't think of them. But, you know, what was the experience like? It just... Again, like, we went to a wedding on Saturday.
Yeah. First of all, do you think about it? Yeah, like, going in, we was thinking like, oh, we don't have our mask. But you kind of, for a slight moment, we got comfortable. So it's not like you like thought about it. Saturday, you know, we had a nice time. Sunday was a regular day, you know, watch football, whatever we did Sunday. Monday was a regular day where I worked, you worked, like we ate dinner. It was,
Sunday night we went to bed together.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Just
Monday
like
night.
normal.
Yeah, Monday night we went to bed. You said it like we don't go to bed.
No, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, oh,
like,
yeah,
it
like-
wasn't symptomatic. It wasn't
Yeah,
no reason for
I
you
didn't
to
even
think that you were sick.
feel-
Yeah.
I didn't even feel anything. Like I didn't feel a sniffle, a cough, or anything. Sunday, Monday, felt nothing. Tuesday, I've never had asthma. But the only thing I can relate it to is I felt like I was wheezing. Like in the morning time when I woke up, you know, my baby leaves for work. I would see him off with his lunch, his breakfast, and then I go lay back down. I'm like, why do it sound like a whistle in my chest? And I'm not saying that to be funny, like literally, like I'm just breathing and it sounds like something that's like out whistle. Nothing but a soft whistle. Yes. Like as I'm breathing, when I exhale, it's like I could hear this whistle and it sounds like a bag of chips rattling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the hell? And it hurt. Like it feels just like somebody's just pressing on my chest. Go to sleep, get up. Now it's time for me to start getting ready for work. Now my chest, I can feel it even more, and I got a little cough. Throat feel like I swallowed some glass or something. But you know, I'm like, oh, okay. Now my back hurts, so like my chest and directly behind my chest, my back is hurting, and that pressure and the whistle and the rattling. I'm like, what the hell? This ain't good. Thank God I work from home. I get my laptop, make myself comfortable. I'm working, like I'm literally working through the day, but like I just ain't feeling it. Then my throat, I'm talking on meetings. So by like 3:30 in the afternoon, I let, you know, the people that I work with know, like, I'm gonna be checking out. Like I'm logging off, like I don't feel good.
Shutting it down.
Yeah, like I don't feel good. I took it as far as I could. Like I just was not feeling good. And in my mind, for a half second I'm thinking like, damn, did I get sick from the wetting? But also, mind y'all, the weather had changed. I had opened up the window, let that nice breeze blow in, and I'm thinking, damn, sleeping with that window, did it put, like old people say, put cold in your chest? That's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, maybe that's what it is. But now I'm getting hot and cold sweats. Like, it's one thing to put cold in your chest, but like I feel like I got something now. Like I'm sweating. I go to sleep, wake up, it's like around dinner time, but I'm like, I can't do nothing. And I ain't always want to just run to the hospital, because I think to myself, what's the potential of them keeping me? And I don't want to stay in nobody's hospital. So I didn't want to go to the hospital, but I wanted to go to urgent care because I'm thinking COVID. Okay, one thing. I'm also thinking pneumonia, and which is, you know, of course everybody knows is really dangerous, because my lungs, that was just the biggest part. Like my breathing was just bad. Like it literally sounded like I had a bag of chips in my chest. Like when I'm breathing, all you can hear is all this crackling.
Like that sound of crunching a water bottle.
Yeah, it's just bad. Like you can hear it. I actually recorded like a couple days, and that was Tuesday. By Thursday, I recorded my chest to send it to my sister, who's a nurse. She like, is that your chest? She's like, you sound like a COPD patient. Like that's how bad. So for me, that was like, you know, the worst, the scariest part. Then I was hot and cold sweats. Like I'm freezing cold, but I'm sweating at the same time. So we go to urgent care. He's scared there. I'm riding in the back like a Uber because he don't want me near him. Get there, wait forever. They do a flu test. Let me just say this. The healthcare system in America sucks. And I work in the healthcare industry, health insurance industry rather, and I got good insurance. So I can only imagine how people are being treated, you know, the disenfranchised or those who are underinsured. Because the healthcare system sucks, but it's also a reminder of how much the pandemic has affected the workforce across America. I can't say across the world because I don't know, but we hear about, like, you know, the Wawas and the Targets that are short-staffed. They're short-staffed doctors and dentists too. I had a situation a couple weeks ago trying to get a dentist appointment, and they were like trying to get me appointments months out because they don't have dental hygienists. Like, it's a shortage of them. And they used to have temps that they would use, like dental hygienists that work for agencies. There's a shortage. So I say all that to say, at the urgent care, there's one doctor. Now, let's not only mention that this is COVID time still. Like, I don't think COVID's ever going away. It's also flu season starting. And then it's like the school year where it was a lot of young kids and they're coming for like school exams and stuff. It's packed in the urgent care. They tell you straight from the door, people. Like, just to let you know it's going to be a long wait. It was another different urgent care not too far. So I'm like, let's call them. They still say, the girl like, it's going to be about an hour, sir. This is urgent care. Y'all not able to assist me urgently.
Well, when you make comparisons, the emergency room is 8 hours. So it's pretty urgent. Urgent care, I'm saying an hour.
I mean, it's just sad. So we waited about an hour. Yeah. It called me back. The lady, she like, I could feel the heat coming off your body. I had a high fever. They did a flu. Oh, and let me rewind. I had took an at-home rapid test, you know, like the ones that you could sign up for and they mailed them out to you. Well, they trash.
They suck balls.
Like, and I will say it says don't use if expired, and it was expired.
Still
but
sucks
you would
balls.
think that it would still let you know, like, you don't rely on those things, because that came back negative. So urgent care, flu test come back negative. Then they say, well, we don't have any rapid tests. We can do a PCR test. It's going to come back in about 2 to 3 days. What am I supposed to do? Like, I'm sick. Like, I don't know what, like, I don't feel good. I don't know what to do. So they gave me, you know, medicine to relieve the coughing in my chest. And then in 2 days, it was actually like a day and a half, I did get the results. And they called me and was just like, you know, kind of self-medicate over-the-counter stuff. You know, if you have a cough, take stuff for a cough. If you have a fever, take stuff for a fever. But it like that, the first, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 feeling amazing. Day 1, I was like a 1, maybe a 0.5. Like, and it happened so rapidly. I woke up, I went to bed Monday night feeling like a 10. Woke up Tuesday, woke up feeling like a 10. But between it don't take me long to get his lunch and breakfast together. So I'm literally up for 15 minutes and then he's out the door. And I guess me waking up, maybe it got moving through my body, because by the time I got back to the bed, it was like, something don't feel right. And I probably went back to sleep at like a 9, woke up at probably like a 7. By the end of the night, I was a 1. Mm-hmm. Like, you talking about a rapid decline.
She was wiped out, like
sweating
done.
Profusely, but
and
from
you know when
freezing
a person
cold.
is wiped out, and well, I think pain does this because it does it for me. Like when I'm sick, I still can talk, but pain, if I'm in pain, I don't have anything to say. And that's what she was. She was just like quiet, like only talking if she had to. Like, babe, how you feel? I feel like shit. Like, that's it. Like, not a whole lot of yapping.
Yeah, and it's weird because
the first couple days anyway.
Like I said, my chest, and I wasn't even so much coughing as much. It was just breathing was just hurting. Like, literally breathing hurt. But my body, like my legs hurt so bad. When I take my fingers, my elbows, and at first I thought maybe I slept wrong. Then I realized, like, no, I'm just like sitting here and my fingers hurt so bad. My legs hurt. Like, not like my muscles, like it felt like all of my bones hurt, which is just so weird. And again, I know everybody may have a different experience and how it attacked your body, or maybe didn't attack your body. Maybe you felt like, hey, I had it and had a couple sniffles, but my bones hurt and my chest hurt. Like, maybe it was my rib cage because it's my bones too, but it just felt like all of my bones were hurting. Yeah, I mean, and I could feel, you know, day 1 was a 1. That was, you know, then day 2 was probably like a 1. Then it kind of went up to like a 3. then slowly getting back.
Yeah. Everybody can relate out there who had COVID, and bounced back from it. Salute to you. Hopefully, you're more careful out here. Wear your mask. That's regardless of how you feel about it. It helps. I'm not saying it's like a guarantee, but it helps. Like it helps. So wear your mask. You don't want to get COVID. You don't want to end up. Or you might know somebody that, they only have mild symptoms. Well, I know somebody that had drastic symptoms and was like she said, just 3 times I was a 1. Like out of 1 to 10, I was a 1. Like, you imagine what it's like being a 1. And then she said she might have been a 0.5.
Like, I just couldn't.
Like a 0.5.
I couldn't even think about anything. My body was just like, nope, whatever you want to do, you're not going to do it. Like, I'm not getting up. I can't move. Like, no.
So thank God that my baby is back on the mend. Past the quarantine, COVID is out, and I'm still a little leery of him. She sleep with me tonight again for the first time, so we'll see.
I had my quarantine for 5 days, sleeping without my baby. We FaceTime each other. We watched TV together on FaceTime.
FaceTime for what, like 6 hours one day?
Yeah.
A long time.
We
FaceTimed it was yesterday.
Yeah, that's what we've been.
We might have hung up and got right back on the phone, but we probably went for like 3 hours straight.
Yeah, it was like the original quarantine, but we was able to do it in person. Where in 2020, where we spent so much time together just talking, and I'm just grateful that we still have that relationship where we can do that. Like, we talked about everything, funny stuff, serious stuff, therapeutic stuff, healing stuff, like, and you know what, and not even to each, so not even on no sexual type thing, just friends, like just that a different level of intimacy where it's like, this is my friend, like we can just have a conversation about life and just so many things outside. And I think this is like completely off topic. I think that's why it's so important in relationships that people think about when you having sex with people. Like, okay, outside of that, what else? Like, what's next?
Yeah.
What's next? Because if you don't like that person, sex is good. Sex is amazing when it's amazing. But if that's all, like, what else? Because you ain't humping all day long. Like, you gotta really be friends and be able to enjoy that person's company. We'll always enjoy each other's company. Sometimes, like, okay, I want to blink and, like, freeze them or, like, put them on pause. But, you don't ever want to pause me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
but this is my friend.
I want to, like, wrap you up, put you in the closet at the
Be
top
careful.
of the step. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's a skit, y'all.
Yeah. But,
Instagram.
Yeah,
I don't want to wrap her up and put her in the closet.
I'm grateful that we have that relationship, that friendship where we can, like, literally talk. That's another thing, too. The last couple of days, I think to myself, I ain't really sleep, like, because we just been talking. Even in quarantine. He in one room, I'm in another. We just talking.
FaceTiming. Technology. Get that technology, baby.
Right?
Everybody is talking about this across the internet, and that is Jeffrey Dahmer. We have been up to 4 episodes, and everybody, we all know the macabreness of it. We all know how nasty and disgusting it was. But let's not act like we don't encounter disgusting things every day, or we don't have disgusting things in our lives that we may have been a part of or done.
Not like Jeffrey Dahmer.
No, but I'm just saying, people got disgusting shit. Like, some people like to eat sofa cushions. Like, there's some nasty stuff out there.
Or chitlins. I used to like chitlins though.
More than the how nasty it is, and more than how disgusting it is, the complexity and how layered it is. Especially when we talk about back in 1990. So imagine the homophobia, imagine the lack of resources, living in a Section 8 area back then where police did not care about your area, not being able to come out as a gay man back then because of the homophobia. So all those just in the first 4 episodes that we saw, are the complexity and the layers that's within that. And like, some people can't get past the
the
gore of it. He killed people, he ate people, and it's like, okay, we understand that, but why? And that's what we're supposed to be doing now as people are on healing journeys, and we want to hold people accountable for stuff. Why did he do these things? And it kind of tells you the story if you can get past the gore. It talks about when he was a kid and the stuff that he went through, and it's really deep. It's really interesting. So people should, if you can get past the gore, watch it, because it's other stuff in there that matters to the story other than he killed and ate people.
Yeah, and you said in the 90s, if you really take it back to him, like you said, being a child, there's so many layers to the onion.
Just
to
wanting
peel
a friend.
back.
Yeah.
His mom suffering postpartum depression and how that impacted her
For
being
years.
a mother to him. Like, and actually, I guess it has to, I don't know if prepartum depression is a such thing, because her quote unquote postpartum started when she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just but not only that, let's take it back another layer. She was dealing with psychological issues in the medications that she were taking.
26 pills a day.
What impact was that having on him as a fetus? What impact was that having on him? And then, fast forward to the family dysfunction between the mom and dad, and the arguing, and then the lack of socialization because he didn't have any friends for whatever reason, or he had other interests. And then you talk about being a child and understanding, I think, from a very young age, or like at least high school years, his attraction to boys.
Right.
But that generation you talk about he was a child in the 70s. So you talking about parents from the 50s. That wasn't something that was like highly acceptable.
Right. And that's what I mean. If we care about that stuff today, if that stuff matters today, then a story like this, it matters.
Yeah. It's kind of shocking that so many people are astonished by it, but I make sense depending on the generation. As a kid, I grew an appreciation for this as I got older, but we as kids, when I say we, me and my siblings, we had to watch the news every day. Like, we got in trouble if we didn't watch the news. The news was on from 5 to 6:30, and then the world news came on. We didn't have to watch the world news, but we had to watch at least an hour of the news. You can pick from 5 to 6:30, whatever hour you wanted to watch. We had to watch the news. I grew an appreciation for that as I got older. I don't watch the news now for different reasons, but I was just aware when Jeffrey Dahmer, when that situation was happening.
So was I.
Now, when people were like, oh my God. But I get it if you're a younger generation and you weren't, because like Gary Heidnick, when that was happening in Philadelphia, I wasn't aware of that until I was grown. Because,
and just to think, even Dahmer, that was 91. You were 10.
Yeah.
So even if you were 10 years old, you still are. You might not been aware. You might not remember it. You might not been stuck to the news at 10 years old, but it happened in your lifetime.
It was happening. Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those stories when you think to yourself, like, we knew about it. This is nothing new. I think in a weird way, not to be offensive to any of the victims and things, and their families. Well, not the victims because they're not here, but not to be offensive to their families. This series was done well, for a lack of better words, where, just the production of it, like, it's a good show in a weird kind of way to say it, but it like you said, it doesn't just focus on the gore. It doesn't just focus on her murdering. And not only that, like, some people, I don't understand, and maybe it ain't for me to understand, I don't understand the outrage, because it's not like Netflix created this series about a homosexual man that raped or I don't even know if it was rape involved, but killed these black men and ate them. it happened. Like
Yeah.
it's history. It's not like they made it up and it's like, oh my God, Netflix, why would you make something like this? It happened in real life. They're retelling the story just like, and I'm not in no way, shape, or form disrespecting anybody else's legacy, but just like they will make a movie about Dr. Martin Luther King's life or make a movie about, you know,
Or have on their front page another series that's all about serial killers that nobody complains about.
but I'm saying like just any historical event like that there are movies about. That like the movie Heat was about that, like that was a real
The North
story
Hollywood,
about
bank robbery.
Bank robbery. Like this is a real historical thing, so it's not like they're making it up. I see.
What about all them slave movies they made? Like that and like she was saying, the gore in Jeffrey Dahmer and the killings, it's weird to say, but it's properly placed.
Yeah.
It's there to tell the story. It's not just like this sensationalizing the gore or like he was just so insatiable with the gore. Like, no, it's not like that. It's not like a show like that. It's properly placed to tell the story of what he was thinking and what he was doing and how he was doing it.
I seen a post, actually 2 different posts where people alluded to the fact that it was demonic, and people, you know, one person, I think he's like a pastor in a church or something, maybe both people were, I'm not sure, and people were like in agreement with that. Maybe I don't know where that comes from. Like with the
that
demonic
comes from the scenes of him watching The Exorcist 3, which people think those movies are demonic, which I'm not going to argue that. Whatever. It's about exorcisms. You can call that demonic, but that stuff's in the Bible. And the part where he goes and breaks up the bones and goes and has that, like, gets on his
like
knees.
ritual.
Ritual and toss the bone dust in the air. Like, you know, you're not doing that to God. So, I mean, I could see those 2 scenes. And again, we're up to 4 episodes, and that's the 2 scenes that I would think would be considered demonic. He did say, I watch The Exorcist 3 every day.
Yeah, I mean, but people were saying like, oh, this is stirring up something in society. Let me tell y'all something. There are
Jeffrey Dahmer ain't stirring up shit.
Society is crazy. It is a lot of gun violence that's going on, a lot of gang activity. Like
Look
it's
at the
a
shit
lot.
people blame for society.
It is a lot of crazy stuff going on. It ain't a lot of people being stirred up to commit the same type of crimes that Jeffrey Dahmer committed. Like that, nah, that ain't happening. I don't believe that that's happening. That now we're going to see like this outpouring of people that's like, oh, now they're Jeffrey Dahmer copycats. Like that, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't believe it.
I mean, I am not that naive to say it can't happen again. Now, we live in a world where there's been hundreds of serial killers, people who done stuff and ate people and cut people up and dressed in women's skin. Like, yes, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was about a serial killer named Ed Gein who really dressed in people's skin. So shit can happen. So I don't like that kind of shit's once in a lifetime, but serial killers will always be, you know, in our lifetime. It's not like there's not going to be people who kills people or rapes women or puts people under their houses. Human beings are fucked up. They're sick people.
Can I say something too?
Sure.
And y'all might want to revoke my black card for this, but I don't care. Us as black people, we gotta stop. There is stuff that happens to us that needs to have a light shined on it. There's stuff that's bad that happens to us that, you know, police brutality. Like there's things that happen. The fact that
suppression.
The fact that Jeffrey Dahmer predominantly killed black and brown boys, predominantly black, some brown, meaning like they weren't white. I think out of his 17 victims, only 2 were white. So predominantly black. It's like one of them things where you gotta think at the bigger picture, right? Just go with me here. Most serial killers have a type.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't hear white women with blue eyes and brown hair like picketing saying that, oh, they shouldn't be showing this series about this particular serial killer because all of his victims were us and this is like prejudice against us or showing us in a bad light or like it. So, I mean, it was a race thing for him because that was his chosen thing, but it wasn't a race thing.
Yeah, it wasn't about racism at all. I just think he was a gay man, and that's who he was attracted to.
And unfortunately,
was dark-skinned men.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, he killed 2 white men and a Spanish guy. So I don't think that it was about racism at all. He was not like racist where he was some type of...
It wasn't hate crime.
Yeah,
he loved us.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it's weird, and I'm not defending his actions in any kind of way. But it's like, I see some other posts too, like people alluding to that, like showing, here's another like show or something of showing black people being killed and black people rooting for it. First of all, ain't nobody rooting for it. It's TV.
Yeah,
like they've been showing, macabre stuff since time immemorial. But it wasn't a racist thing. Like, this ain't for us to protest. Like, this, it wasn't about us. It was just the fact, like, I mean, if all his victims were Chinese men, I don't think Chinese people would be feeling like, oh, why are they showing this because he killed, he loved us so much. It's like one of them things like, y'all, this ain't a fight for us. Like, it ain't.
No, it's not even a fight to be had. Like she said, this is modern day history. It's not made up. You know what I'm saying? This is modern day history. This really happened. He's dead now. So why can't it be talked about? And again, that's just about the murders. More is the conversation about the homophobia back in 1990, or the lack of resources in the area he lived in, where a woman who lived next to him called the cops 20-something times and nobody did nothing. Like, that's the conversation within the conversation. Like, not the fact that he killed people. Like, we know that, and we know it was bad, and we know he ate people, and we know that shit is strange. But how did it get to this far? Yeah. How did it get to this far? Is there people to blame before that? And come to find out,
yeah, the cops who just kind of blew off. Let's talk about the casting too.
Mm-hmm.
Just from The Voice, if you've seen it, the role that Niecy Nash plays, they play a recording of a call that she had made to the police. And I don't want to tell, if y'all haven't seen it, I never want to give a spoiler alert, but I never want to spoil it for you. So this ain't a spoiler alert, but there was a cop call that they played that was real about an incident that happened. And Niecy Nash's voice, I don't know if they cast Niecy Nash in this role because of her voice, because I don't know what the real lady looks like.
No, I think she's a good actress in that sense. I think she heard that and she nailed that lady's her cadence and her tone.
But that's how Niecy Nash really sound, though. That's what I know.
And I don't know if that's a Midwestern a thing, because it's
maybe
Milwaukee.
So Niecy Nash is a great actress, but what I'm saying is I don't know if they cast her in this role because the voices are alike or because they look alike.
I can't really
I don't
think
know
how Niecy Nash, how she sounds. You would know better than I would.
Niecy Nash sound like this lady. Is so weird. Like, hearing the voice is like, damn, that's the real police recording. Did Niecy Nash go to cops? But no, the lady, her name was actually Miss Glenda Cleveland. I don't know anything about her. I do want to look it up, see, like, because I'm sure there's some mental torment there.
Yeah, I was really sad. I wonder how that affected her, because she called the cops 20-something times and nobody did anything. Nobody came out. They ignored it. The whole time she thought it was a kid, and they thought it was just an adult.
The story,
okay, I don't want to tell the story, but she called all the many times, and then just to find out he was doing that next door to you.
Yeah,
it's like, damn, I told y'all.
And it's one of them things. You've told me this before, and not to say like my baby's a killer. That ain't where this is going. But when you visited the morgue, about how that smell, like, you never forget it, and you only visited once or twice.
Once.
Can you imagine living next to that? She probably can't get that smell out her nose if she's still alive.
Yeah.
She probably cannot get that smell out. Just knowing
crazy.
that, like, he's killing, cooking, boiling, eating, liquefying humans. Like,
and that's the thing that's like, when you say like I know you asked me a question, and I don't want to say what the question was, but it kind of is germane to this. But when you wonder why people do stuff so close to home, and it's like, okay, this dude didn't even have a house. He didn't even have privacy, and he was doing this. Like, how do you pull something like that off with no privacy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know what I think it is, though? And I mean, I think it may be that mentality of once you get away with something once, you kind of just think that you'll get away. But it was so many times that he was so close to getting caught, but
and
didn't.
the addiction of it, and I guess that is a real thing. Like these serial killers talk about, like like once you do it, it's like I can't stop. Like there's something in me that keep telling me to do it. Like only serial killers talk like that, but that compulsion to I gotta do it, or the ones that kill and go back and visit the all that kind of stuff.
I think, and I would love to take a psychology course based around him, because
I would love to do that around all serial killers.
Yeah, but
I love that type of storytelling, and because it's real. Like I'm a big proponent of watching stuff that can be
happen in real life.
Yeah, like if it's something that's real,
like we don't like aliens and
nah. Like, but if it can happen or did happen, I'm all over it.
Yeah, but all serial killers, that would be good. But I'm saying specifically for Jeffrey Dahmer because he's the serial killer that I'm most aware of. Just the layers, again, the psychological trauma, the abandonment from his mother and from his father, the lack of social skills, the suppressed homosexuality, just all of those things that he just felt like he couldn't be. And I'm not defending him, but it's almost, if you see it, you know he didn't necessarily, or I don't believe he necessarily went into these situations wanting to kill per se. He didn't want people to leave him.
Nope.
He wanted a friend. Yep. And it makes me think, and he wanted a friend, but he didn't know how to go about getting a friend. Like there was one scene where he almost hit a guy with a bat.
You're telling the story.
I said one scene, so you don't know where it comes in. But it's almost like you think to yourself, like, was he going, like, think about caveman days, knock him upside the head and take him home, be my friend?
He was a grown person who had an imaginary friend.
Yeah.
So it's like, that tells you the complexity of where his mind was and like what he yearned for. It wasn't just to kill. He just came wanted later a friend on. And he didn't want anybody to leave him. That came later on. But his intention wasn't to kill. Like he was just a lonely kid. Remember, he was like, I don't like it out here. I ain't got no money. Yeah. Can I please come home? Yeah. So the question is to ask, would you buy a home where a murder happened? 30% of Americans said they would. California, South Dakota, Alaska, Vermont are the only places required to tell. And that includes suicides. So would y'all, in the light of Dahmer or, whatever situation may have happened, if it's a good financial situation for you, if things have been cleaned up, if you're not really that wary of shit like that and it doesn't matter to you, would you purchase a home that would have a murder in it? So I hate to do this. And now looking at this, you probably wouldn't fucking know because it's only 4 states that you're required to know, which is crazy because like when you talk about real estate disclosures and stuff, I always thought, but I guess that's not one of the things that has to be disclosed. I don't mean to do. Hold up, but before you answer, can you imagine having to disclose real estate in a big city like Philadelphia or New York where murders happen by the hundreds a year? So I think people would just have to get over it because you know how many houses wouldn't be sellable? But that's what I mean. If you had to disclose something like that in those states, Pennsylvania and in New York, like you wouldn't be able to sell homes because a lot of people get shot in different places in those cities, in those big markets. Yeah, but I think it would like. But in places like South Dakota, Alaska, Vermont, it's like those are such small. Either people would get houses for cheaper because you would have to lower the price, or people would just become desensitized to it because it probably would be so prevalent. Right. And I hate to do this. I don't mean to answer for you, but I want to say I know for sure you wouldn't because you believe in like Hanks and spirits and stuff. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. My husband does. So I think you would think if somebody was murdered or God forbid commit suicide, you would be afraid. Fuck yeah. Commit suicide? That's even worse. Like if a murder happened, Now, see, it's scales of it. Now, I wouldn't bother with either one. If somebody died in the house and you told me, I wouldn't want it. If somebody was murdered in the house,
just die natural causes?
No, I wouldn't want it. If somebody, because I don't know what type of life they led or what was going on in the house, and they may have Hanks there. They may like want to stay there. So I don't know what their soul is about. A person that was murdered there and their life was taken, hell no. And a person who committed suicide there, no.
Like hung themselves?
Fuck
or like
no.
slit their wrist in the tub?
Fuck no, babe. You would see and feel that person. I'm telling you. Like, people can believe or not believe, but there is lots of real people that you can talk to that have encountered stuff. I'm one of them. I used to see in one of our old houses a lady in a red dress like maybe 2 or 3 times. Like, I remember running downstairs and like to get something to drink, and I cut the dining room light on, and she was sitting at the table. And no faster than I blinked my eye, she was gone. She was gone. And you could think I'm crazy. She asked me, was I smoking? Yes, I was. But that doesn't mean anything to me because I smoke all the time. But I saw the lady in the red dress. To me, it's a Hank. And that was a house that we were renting at the time. So I don't know what happened there. Obviously in Pennsylvania, shit that ain't got to be disclosed. Who knows? But lady in a red dress at the dining room table, blink, gone.
Yeah, so for me, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I would prefer not to know. But it wouldn't automatically exclude it for me.
If you loved a house, I mean, loved it, it was every freaking thing that you wanted, and they said this house was something like where the Lex Street Massacre happened, where 7 people was murdered in this house.
Now, it's different when you're talking
place?
about a massacre or like, you know, the lady who walked all 5 of her babies and drowned them.
One guy was executed in the living room floor.
We're going to clean up the carpet, like remove
We ain't cleaning nothing. I mean, they just show us the house and it's all new now. We don't know nothing, but they have to disclose that this happened here. We don't see no remnants of anything. But when we turn the key to go in there and be like, babe, look at our new, like, we're going to be looking at each other like.
I trust in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to protect me. And we're going to pray over that house. We're going to, like, And
the first night we upstairs together and a glass fall by itself, she going to be like, put this shit up for sale. Put this shit up for sale.
Nah.
Hell no, I ain't buying no house that a murder happened in.
So what if, like, okay, we y'all know, you know, we recently we sold our old house. We bought a new house February of this year. Our neighbors don't talk to us. I mean, no shade, but like they just ain't the friendly bunch. And we ain't like trying to talk to them either.
We ain't the Joe bunch.
Yeah, but what if let's say, you know, a year from now somebody's like, oh, you know, could finally get to meet the new neighbors. Like, you know, about 10 years ago, you know, a man killed his wife up there in the bedroom, you know.
I would cuss them the fuck out for telling me that shit. Like, I've been living here 10 motherfucking years and you gonna come tell me this shit now? Or some high neighbor shit? Like, this is past the time of the greeting of hey neighbor. Like, why would you be doing that? It's been 10 years. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't necessarily stop me, but y'all tell us, you know, would that stop you from buying a property if you knew, and again, let's exclude like the really horrific, like a massacre, you know, a mom drowning her 5 babies. Let's just talk about a single, not minimizing.
But why would it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's not do that. Why would it have to be minimized? Why does it matter if one person died there or 5 people?
Because that's a different level of. I'm not even thinking about spirits and none of that kind of stuff. That's a different level of sadness. Like, I don't want to go in my bathroom thinking about this mom. Who was the lady?
Andrea Yates.
Yeah, like she drowned all 5 of her babies in the tub that I'm sitting in. I mean, oh, granted, they probably took the tub out.
I'm about to say, you don't think they took that for evidence?
I mean, yeah, they took the tub out.
That was in the courtroom, the tub. Like, that's the bathtub.
But I'm just saying, like, let's just think about quote unquote normal murders. Like, you know, somebody got murdered or somebody died.
You hear what she said? Normal murders. This how fucked up like we've gotten over the years normalizing murder. She's trying to compartmentalize murders. Murder is murder. Whether it's 1 people or 16 people, you murdered.
But I don't know. Okay, I don't want to live in a house where it's like,
or like a graphic murder, like a mom murdered her kids, is no different from a brother murdering his brother in the back room because they got to argue.
But I wouldn't want it to be a situation where it was like, okay, that house, they had 17 teenagers that they had kidnapped and sex trafficked, and when the cops was on his way, they mowed down all of them and killed them. Nah, that's way too much for this to be my address now.
How about it was a house that had a steel door on it in the basement, and they had these sex trafficked girls in there, and they died like they did on the wire in a can. Nobody touched them. They just was locked down there with no air, and they died.
No.
28 people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no crazy stories like that.
So what if it was one girl down there that they was sex trafficking and they locked her down there and she died from no air?
I might be okay with it. Like,
oh my God!
If I really love the house, I mean, her soul is not there.
Oh my God! Did you learn anything?
I learned a lot. Like, I've been watching stuff. So it's this special on
And come on, try to.
All right, it's this special on Netflix, and it's about national parks, and it is narrated by the one and only Barack Obama. Did you know what determines a sea turtle's gender? 3, 2, 1. It is the weather, the temperature, how warm it is.
Temperature of the sand.
The temperature of the sand determines a sea turtle's gender. And because of global warming and climate change, and I don't want to get into all that because I just don't.
Y'all don't think she's liberal?
The sand is so warm. 99% of sea turtles born, I think, over the last 10 years, maybe not 10 years, but born over the last few years, have been female, which is crazy, right? All female sea turtles being born. Eventually, you can't have all of one gender either way, but that's what determines a sea turtle's gender, the temperature of the sand. That's what I learned.
I didn't learn anything.
You did learn something, though. The 4 states that require disclosure of murder in the home.
There you go.
What were the states again?
California, Alaska, South Dakota, and Vermont.
California is a huge state. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Alaska.
They do a lot of weird shit. Alaska's big too, though.
Yeah, but it's so desolate though. Like, you got a lot of wilderness in Alaska.
Then maybe they mean it for the animals. 3 grams. There is a wedding venue that refused to refund a bride after her husband-to-be commit suicide. Dress and other items were refunded, but not the venue. Thoughts? Let me go first. My thoughts is, if this all came from the same place, right? A contract is a contract, and it should be honored. We are deeply saddened by your loss, and we probably can do something like to show you that, like refund your dress and refund your shoes and all the stuff that you paid for outside. But the venue costs we have to keep because we could have rented the place at a time where now it's booked because you had this tragedy, but it's a business. We gotta keep our money for that, but we can give you back some money to show you our condolences. Here's your wedding, the dress back, here's your shoes, here's your accessories, here's your cake and all that stuff back. But the venue costs we have to keep. I think that's cool. I think that's plausible. I don't think you should be upset about that or heartbroken that they didn't refund everything.
That was such a man answer. But I agree, because you don't get your dress and shoes from the venue is where you get married. You buy your dress and shoes from another store.
True. That's true. Well, everybody else
but I feel
refunded stuff, but the venue didn't.
But I feel you on that, because you got to think about this, right? And I read this story, and I think they had booked the venue like at least a year before, or maybe 2 years. The husband, unfortunately, committed suicide 2 weeks before the wedding. The venue had...
Why you just ain't just like jilt her or something? Like, is that you gonna kill yourself not to get married?
I don't know. That's sad. I hope it wasn't not to get married. That's heavy on her. Maybe it was other stuff going on in his life.
Okay.
I mean, that's heavy on her to think like, damn, you killed yourself because you didn't want to marry me. Like, you just tell me you changed your mind.
I would think that would be easier.
The venue had the contract said that you anything canceled within 90 days, you don't get a refund. So had they canceled it at 100 days, they could have got refunded. She didn't know. Nobody knew he would kill himself. But you got to think, like you said, business is business. That money, let's just say it costs $2,500 to rent the venue. That money is spent on that venue. And like you said, now I could see if they made a provision like, look, we going to offer like a last minute. First of all, it was 2 weeks before the wedding. So really, who's going to book the venue in 2 weeks? Probably nobody. But if they would have said, look, we'll offer a last minute booking to somebody. If they just so happen to book it, then we can give you your money. But if not, essentially that's them having to take a loss.
Right.
Like, we're going to give you back this money. We could have rented this to somebody else.
Right.
And I mean,
it's like you have to take a loss because of what happened to you in your life, but that don't mean other people
our
have
business
to take
had
a
to
loss
suffer
because you did.
Yeah, and you know, it kind of remind me of
That's like saying there should be no funeral homes, because if a person dies, then they should be like, okay, out of sympathy, we'll do the funeral for free. But no, they charge you because it's a business. It's like the same thing. I mean, if you want people to be like, oh my God, the person died, we're not going to, charge you for the venue. Like, it should be that way for funerals too. Like, why would there be funeral homes?
I don't get how that relates, but
like, if there's you got funeral homes that charge for funerals, and
right.
you're weighing on the empathy of a person.
Oh, right.
So if you want the empathy to be, listen, he can't because he killed himself, so give me my money back because I can't use the venue. Like, you're weighing on the empathy of them, but in a funeral home sense, you're not weighing on the empathy of them to say we're saddened because our loved one died. So do you mind if we get a cut off the funeral, like a break off the funeral? No, they still put a heavy bill in front of you.
I see what you're saying, but that is their job. But what it reminded me of is when COVID.
How did you not get that?
Because like they're in the business.
Long COVID.
But they're in the business for funerals, so that's why I was kind of weird. But what it does remind me of, I remember when the pandemic happened in 2020. If y'all remember, juniors and seniors that year in high schools didn't go to prom. My girlfriend had rented a luxury car for her son, and it's so crazy because it was around the corner from our old house. She didn't get her money back, but you figure for that business, they didn't know that like COVID was gonna happen and nobody was gonna go on prom. But think about how many bookings they probably had. If they would have returned everybody's money, their business probably would have went under. If you think about it, like, I mean, that whole season for them, which is probably their biggest season, was ruined because of COVID. But and she just had to chalk it. I mean, it was other things that I think she was able to return the suit maybe. Some things she did get her money back, but yeah, so that's what it made me think of. It's like, some things you gotta think. You just gotta keep it moving. Like, I get it, like you don't get your money back, but why harbor on it? Because they didn't know, and they have a business, a family, a livelihood to maintain also.
Right. Second gram. Joe Budden admitted to fake putting on a condom during sex. Wow. Joe Budden admitted to fake putting on a condom during sex. Morally, that's wrong, but that's not a crime. But that's a high level of immorality.
Right. So I was reading.
Like, there's some things that's, not morale that everybody is probably engaged in. But that's a high level of immorality. And as a man, I wouldn't want to do that because I might catch something.
Well, I mean,
like, why would I fake? If I gotta put on a condom, obviously we don't know each other. So if I'm fake putting on a condom,
or you could just not want to get pregnant or something, if you do know each other,
right? So, all right, so that's two plausible situations. You could know each other and don't want to get pregnant, or you could not know each other and you just want to have it
be
raw.
safe.
Yeah, or you just want to have it raw, but if you're going to fake put it on.
Well, so he was saying that it's been a couple of times that like he went in the corner and fake like he was putting it on. So whether you know the person or not know the person, obviously y'all had an agreement to have protected sex.
Right.
You went against the agreement. It could have been your girlfriend for 2 years, and she just wanted you to wear condoms because she didn't want to
get pregnant.
Yeah,
take birth control.
Yeah, or it could have been a one night stand where you just met her and you was being risky and she didn't want to be risky, and you just decided to throw caution to the wind and go in raw. So it could be either scenario. My thought was, like you said, it's immoral. It's a messed up thing to do. But people were talking like, oh, he got himself in so much trouble saying this. And I don't know. Is that a crime?
No.
Like, it's not rape.
No, it's not. And again, you can jump to the gun. He could know strategically what he's saying. And he could say, this is what my girl for 3 years, and she knows about this. So you're not hurting anything. You're not getting him in trouble. Like he's a smart dude and he knows what he said.
Yeah.
He believe me, he's a smart dude. He knows what he said, and I don't think this is any trouble for him at all.
Yeah, I think
it's just chatter like we're doing now, talking about it. That's what he intended it for it to be.
Yeah, I think people jumped out the window on that. Was like, why would he say something like this? Like, this is when you say too much. He should and supposedly I haven't watched his podcast in a really long time. Like, they removed the episode supposedly because of that. But like you said, it could have very well been a situation like, I was with my girl, she didn't want to get pregnant, but I snuck and took the condom off.
And
like,
the girl probably knows this story. So it's not, again, I'm not saying anything that's going to cause an uproar. I'm saying things that's going to get me views and get people talking about me. Just like when he was asked on Expert Opinion, why did you say you sleep with guys? Like, they asked him directly, do you sleep with guys? And he never said yes or no. He just said, this ain't the form to be doing it. I don't know you like that, man. Like, so that kind of ambiguous answer gets people to say, let's talk about that. Like, you heard Joe on there? Like, he didn't say yes, he didn't say no.
And then he's one of those people who he can say something, like you said, to start the conversation and be very literal. And then if he breaks it down and says, well, guess what? Me and my homie or my brother, whatever, we was out chilling, having a good time, got to the hotel, everybody, was drunk, fell out, fell asleep. He fell across the top of the bed, I fell across the bottom of the bed, I slept with a guy. Like, everything isn't what it appears to be. Right. So he could say that just to start the conversation, but you gotta think like pump the brakes. Like, but again, in my mind, I'm thinking, this ain't a crime. Right. Like, why are people talking like he's saying like he raped a person? Like, it was just shocking to me when people just put way too...
Because people want to persecute you for personal shit. Just like somebody want to, cheat. And they want you to be, your job, you're fired, canceled because you cheated. And it's like, that's not a crime. That's a personal situation between me and my wife. Like, why do I got to lose my job for that shit?
If your job has a policy saying that you can't...
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Last gram, Hurricane Ian hit Florida, hit Fort Myers real bad, got the whole place underwater, Orlando, Tampa, and the Gulf Cove. So I just want to say shout out to the people, condolences to people who lost their houses. It's so crazy. I seen a picture of Fort Myers and everything in this area. You know how they show everything look like eraser? Just erased it. Mm-hmm. And it was this one blue house on stilts that wasn't even touched.
You gotta feel like
and it
the
was
blood
like,
of Jesus.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, that house still got a roof, walls. It's still standing. Like, everything is still there. And everything around it was just like crushed.
It always made me think, like, when you see pictures of stuff like that, or like you see news footage of like a tornado that like ripped through a neighborhood, and it'll be like it completely tore down one house or one side of the street, and the other side of the street is fine. Like, do you have like survivor's remorse? Because like, some people who are neighbors, they're friends, they have become like family. And it's like, damn, to see somebody that you know and maybe love lose everything, and you're so grateful that you did it. Like, but Mother Nature is a beast.
Yeah.
And so unpredictable.
I think just out of human nature, people would feel a certain type of way around you. Like, we don't have shit, and you didn't lose your house, like not out of malice, just human nature that we gotta do all this shit and fix our shit back together, and you just gotta put your grass back.
Yeah, but don't be mad at me. I mean, I'm sorry for you. I say some prayers. I'm sorry
Y'all
for you.
was calling me asshole when I was putting my house on stilts.
Yeah.
Y'all was like, why you doing that?
You know what you say to the people?
What?
God did.
Not to laugh at people that got their houses torn
Absolutely
down like
not.
that, but my point was my condolences to the people in Fort Myers, in Florida, in Tampa, in Orlando, anybody that had any destruction to their property or houses or loss of life. I know it's 74 deaths already.
Wow.
So, condolences to those families. It's always fucked up when a hurricane comes and tears your shit up. And it's like, it's weird how some people still draw to those areas that hurricanes do that to every 3, 5, 7 years or so. And they just like have a life where they're used to rebuilding. But it's like, I'm not moving, I'm just gonna rebuild. And 7 years from now, this is gonna happen again, but I ain't moving, I'm just gonna rebuild. And that's just like their way of living because they like where they live.
Yeah, it's home. It's
Yeah.
home. It's hard to tear away from home. Just like we talked about home and not going far from home. Maybe that'll be another conversation we have another day.
Let's do a wrap. Act 2 the Podcast, episode 90. Act2thepodcast.com, Spotify, Facebook, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Catch us on all those sites. It was a pleasure. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, God damn it, you should. Peace.